And I immediately realized that, my work with Magnus could be very complementary. I looked at his games, just the way Botvinnik did, so just studied them. And I realized that, my style could be very complementary to him. And also I just saw that, he needed, to be better organized, because he got already, squeezed everything from pure talent. He needed now just, a new it's a better organization, this structure, because I think it was temporarily, he was #1 rating, but then he was fourth, fifth. And in January 2009, we had a first exchange, and I advised him during Vikensee tournament, just advise him. And then after Vikensee, so he liked this cooperation. He came to see me in Moscow, and we began working together.
Are you talking about the structure of his thinking, or the structure around him, his team, his support system, things of that nature?
It's the everything. Actually, it's the organizational work, but also the openings. So it's and also the working on his weaknesses, because as I said, different styles. So, because all top players, we have different way of evaluating the position, because we have our preferences. So it's, let's say I'm here, Karpov's there, but you still have so many in between. So Magnus was in between, but closer to Karpov. I remember that I asked about the world champions, because he had pretty good knowledge of chess history and looked at the games, and it was not surprising that the players that he picked up were Capablanca, Smyslov. So this is I already knew that he would be on that side, which meant that the way I looked at the game of chess could be very complementary. So this is his biggest weakness was. I'm not sure that now it's probably still is, because it's something that's very, very, it's a part of our nature. He was very uncomfortable in unbalanced positions. So because when you just have, because he wanted some kind of clarity and sacrificing, it's for attack, that's good, because he could have done that. But positions that were everything hanging, and this is, you have to look at at total, it's completely disbalanced. I think he felt uncomfortable, and that's where I could help, because that's exactly what was my strength. So, that's why
this is a good weakness to have, if you have to have one, because so few people are comfortable in these positions. It's such a rare skill in those positions, like chaotic positions.
But that's because I could see that this for him, why the work was so effective, because everything I knew, the way to prepare the openings, the play, unbalanced positions, that's what he was missing. So that's why it created a very, very, very good synergy. And somehow we managed to work, in secret. So he just only revealed it after he won this triumphant victory in China.
In China, yeah.
Actually, I remember while he went in China, so I went to play we celebrated our 25th anniversary of our first match with Karpov. I went to Valencia, so there was just, and we played Rapid and Blitz, and I just, Karpov arrived with 3 coaches, and I arrived with my mother, with my wife, and they just looked at me, was I really serious? Yeah, I just didn't want to say I came just from my training session with Magnus.
At any point in your career, did you feel like you had one of those, let's say, moments or years where you felt you were adding new weapons to your let's say, arsenal?
I think it's very important. I mean, everyone has weaknesses. Some, of course, have bigger weaknesses. Some have more significant weaknesses. I think I sort of rounded myself out as a player more, but sometimes you also lose skills, which is interesting. Like, you become more of a complete in terms of your understanding, but you lose maybe some practical skills, especially when with age and motivation. Like, let's say when I was 18, I knew nothing, but I did have some practical skills that were still quite important to my results. So that's also interesting. Like, in your career, did you feel like there were moments when you were better at things, but also starting to like lose some skills, or maybe some skills were becoming more difficult as well?
I don't think it's about losing skills. It's about just changing your approach to the game. So I was always curious when I was a kid, seeing some top players, changing their repertoire. For instance, you know, seeing Geller, you know, from early days, you know, from King's India moving to Queen's Gambit. Then I just realized, you know, yeah, you're getting older, and you look for different trends in the game of chess. So this is again, it's about comfort. So, and somehow you're subconsciously, you want to move from one type of positions to another. It's I think if I stayed longer in the game of chess, it would be probably just, it would definitely happen, you know, just in the larger scale. But even, you know, just in, say, in late 90s, so especially after the match was crowning, so I realized, you know, I had to correct my approach.
But up until your last professional tournament, you were still playing the sharpest openings, like in Linares 2005.
Yeah. I just no. I played this as That's just but yeah, there was still certain, you know, element. Again, it was not dramatic. As I said, you know, this again, staying longer, because when I left, we already had we were at the verge of new computer revolution. So that's why and because I remember when I worked with Magnus, so we just, you know, I already realized, you know, how far things could advance. But still, you know, I with Magnus and even with Hikaru, so I felt that, you know, my human contribution could be still very effective, because it's machines, but you still have to come up with new ideas, and also just I have very high standards. So this is for, you know, for quality. So this is just, we just have to look here and there, and I think it's my decision to leave was timely. Yes.